Hello and welcome to Ham Nation, episode 499 for July 21st, 2021. Thanks a lot for coming out. And how's it going, everybody? I am Josh, KI6NAZ. Welcome back again to Ham Nation. Again, episode 499. We're getting close to the big 500, and I know you're interested about some potential giveaway information that we talked about in the last episode. I'll just mention it right up front. There's a link in the description. You might want to take a look. But we'll talk about it in a little bit. Let's get right over to the hosts here. Got some fun with everybody here, starting with Amanda. How are you doing on this fine week?
I'm doing fantastic. We really got a great group of people here. Stick around. I'm going to be following chat. We're going to be interviewing Neil and Adam from nope, wrong one. Let's start that over. Youth on the Air Camp, which took place in Cincinnati at the VOA. So looking forward to wrapping up on a whole lot of pictures and all their activities. So stay tuned. And Don's got a lot to go with here as well. So,
yeah. Yeah, and just go ahead, Don, and then I'll mention something real quick before you take it.
Okay. Yeah, in addition to the Youth on the Air Camp, we have the Young Ham of the Year Award coming up. We will be, I believe, notifying the recipient later on this week. So we don't have a public announcement of a recipient yet. I don't even know who it is yet. But as soon as we know, we'll let you guys know. But Mark Brown, Mark, is it N4 or W4 BCD, your call sign? He's muted. It's one of those. We'll figure it out.
November 4.
N4 BCD. That's right. Mark Brown is the chairman of the Huntsville Hamfest, which is happening this year. Yes. Sigh of relief. And we'll hear all about what is the friendliest Hamfest in the country, if not the greater Earth, coming up a little bit later on, Josh. It's going to be great. Also, we have news from Amateur Radio Newsline and Dr. Tamitha Scove, who I think we've talked to her about perhaps being live with us on show number 500.
Yes.
So don't quote me on that, but we're working on it.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody that ask questions as we go through this, and we'll take some pauses during the interviews because we got a lot of interviews today, and you know we've got some information obviously to get out there. So if we're missing anything, make sure to remind us. I think all the rest of the hosts, just want to mention this. We love all of our hosts. I've got Amanda and Don with us today. I think everybody's resting because there's a big 500 episode coming up. So just wanted to mention nobody's off the show. It's just I think everybody's getting ready for the next episode. So thanks everybody. All right, Don, let's take it away.
All right, well, let's go ahead and bring up Mark N4 BCD. There he is, green shirt. That's the Hamfest shirt. Raise it. There you go.
Yes.
There you go. When you go to the Huntsville Hamfest, if you need anything, you look for one of those shirts, and whoever is wearing it will be sure to point you in the right direction. It'll probably be Mark because I think he buys a new pair of shoes the week before, and by after the Hamfest, they're probably worn out. He needs to have them resold. That man is everywhere and putting out a million different fires, some of which he's put out some fires that I've needed putting out over the years, and it's the best Hamfest out there, I tell you. And I'm so happy, Mark, that Huntsville is actually going to happen this year. It's the first really big Hamfest since the whole COVID thing started a year and a half ago, isn't it?
Exactly. We jokingly talked about COVID in Orlando in 2019, and little did we know that literally a month later, our whole
of course
getting some fluttering. But the whole world turned upside
we started
down. Yeah. Go ahead. We hear you now.
Oh, we lost him again.
Must have some connection issues.
The further we went, the train picked up steam, and okay.
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead. Keep going.
I'm on a cellular connection out in rural. We have a connection.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and if you can tell us what in your opinion makes the Huntsville Hamfest so special. I know what it is. I have my ideas, and everybody who's ever been there has a different idea, I'm pretty sure, of what makes Huntsville special. But what is it from the chairman's point of view that makes Huntsville such a special Hamfest?
I think clearly, Don, it's our 100 or so volunteers from the Huntsville amateur radio community. That Southern-born hospitality is something that we just can't manufacture. It is It is homegrown. It's in our hearts. It's in our soul. And we want to make sure it's good for the vendors, the visitors. It's a wonderful event. We really want to make sure that people have a good time. I think one of our young lady, Haylarks, amateur radio group, the young ladies, she mentioned it's like hosting a party in your home. It's as a host, you want to mingle, you want to make sure everybody's having a good time. You need a drink refill? Well, we're not serving drinks, but it's the idea that we want to make sure everybody there is appreciated, and and that their needs are met.
Yeah, that's what it is. You call yourselves the world's friendliest Hamfest, I believe, and that's true. I mean, I've been going every year since 1995. Newsline has been presenting the Young Ham of the Year award, I believe, since 1993. I think 93 or 94 from Huntsville, and we have no intention of leaving anytime soon because it's just we found a home there. It bounced around from Hamfest to Hamfest in the first 10 or so years of its existence, and somebody from Huntsville called up Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF, the founder of Newsline and the creator of the Young Ham of the Year, and said, "Hey, we'd really like it if you just come down here and if you like it down here, maybe consider coming back." And we haven't left. You're right. It's just the hospitality's great. It's exactly as you describe it. You are a guest at a party in someone's home, you and several thousand other people, and it's the best Hamfest around. Well, also the venue doesn't hurt at the Von Braun Center. That's a special venue because everything is under one roof and air conditioned.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we hit all the buttons too. The forums, the vendors, the flea market, the commercial dealers. We have a youth lounge that's without peer. Dr. Monty Bateman and his wife been doing it for a dozen years. The exams. We're a full service Hamfest, and this year we're of course the Southeastern Division Convention, and David Minster, the league's new CEO. I think this will be his first big Hamfest since assuming that position. He'll be here.
Yeah. I have participated in a wolf hong ceremony at Huntsville, and that was so much fun. If you ever get a chance to do that, by all means, I think that's almost a rite of passage in ham radio is being asked to be a part of a wolf hong. And I, of course, was QRM.
Yeah. We were asked to do that this year by a couple of email queries about that. But frankly, our plate is so full in putting on a safe and successful event, we just didn't have the bandwidth at the late hour to bring it off. Maybe coming down, maybe in a couple of years, we'll see.
Right. Now, speaking of having a safe venue, we are still in the middle of COVID. Even though it seems like we're just beginning to open up, we now have the Delta variant, which is creating a good bit of havoc around the country. Talk about what you and the Von Braun Center have done to make it as safe as possible for this large group of people to come and enjoy themselves.
Well, simply, Don, last year the COVID restrictions were in August would have been so onerous that there is no way it would have been successful for us or the vendors. But this year their rules have relaxed somewhat. We have mandated 12-foot aisles, and that's why we had to grow the square footage. We're using some additional space this year to get the same amount of stuff, but in a larger hall. We're going from 80,000 square feet to 140,000 square feet. Even 12-foot aisles in the flea market area. The VBC and the city of Huntsville still has a mask mandate. We're not sure exactly what things will be come August 20th, 21st, but we will follow the guidelines. The VBC will be providing hand sanitizing stations, masks if needed, and so we think we can host a successful and safe event.
That's good, and that's the key right there is making sure that everyone gets there, has a good time, and goes home only with what they brought and what they bought. No extra,
Yes,
no extra
absolutely.
biological entities
No
attached.
biohazards.
Right, and of course, no guarantee against that, but certainly going above and beyond and doing everything that you possibly can to make sure that everyone has a safe and enjoyable time. And I know I've heard from other people who have gone to a few smaller hamfests around that the talk is Huntsville. I mean, it's the first big one, like you said, since Orlando. Since Orlando, what that'll be 2 years ago, I guess, almost now.
Almost.
And so, I certainly hope that it's going to be good. And of course, Newsline will have a presence there with the Young Ham of the Year award. It's going to be a little bit different this year. I'm not going to completely spill the details on that because we're still working that out. But the Young Ham of the Year presentation will be presented at the Huntsville Hamfest on Saturday. So we have that to look forward to, Mark. Anything else that we need to know about Huntsville? I guess we flashed the website on there real quick. Give us the URL of that website.
Oh, it's very easy. Hamfest.org.
Yeah,
we've had that for a lot of years. We've updated the menu across the top, make it a little bit easier to find the 2021 floor plan. It's over there by tickets. I will mention too, we're hopeful that folks buy their tickets online this year. It will save cash transactions and credit card transactions on Saturday morning when the ladies selling tickets are going to be very busy. And it just minimizes the face-to-face contact. And we think it just adds a little margin of safety. So we encourage folks to click that tickets button up there on the top right.
All right. And we're a month away. We're exactly a month away. Tonight's July 21st. And
okay, I just got back from a week's vacation over in Texas. It was about the only time between Field Day and Hamfest that I could go to Texas and visit my kids. But I'm back in the saddle, and we're going to have a busy month, and we look forward to seeing everybody in about a month.
Yeah, very good. Anything else we need to know, Mark?
A couple of great door prizes this year. The FTDX 10 on Saturday, along with the Geochron Atlas. Two big door prizes on Saturday. The FT 991 Yaesu on Sunday, along with Shack in the Box. Lee from Shack in the Box is donating a 600 amp hour solar or maybe 600 watt solar system. So lots of good prizes, hourly door prizes, great forums. We'll have the Saturday forum schedule. Well, the Saturday forum schedule's out there. Sunday is any day now. But great lineup of folks, and it's all live and in person.
Very good. And, of course, W5KUB will be live streaming it, as he always does. And since you mentioned those Yaesu radios, I'll take the time to thank the corporate sponsors of the Young Ham of the Year Award, and that is Yaesu USA and CQ Communications, both of those since day one. Of course, Bob Heil and Heil Sound, and also Emmett with the Radio Waves antennas. Those are our corporate partners, and we absolutely could not present this award without their help and their support. So, Mark, I guess that's it. We'll look forward to Huntsville in about a month.
Questions.
Hey, thank you, Dawn.
Questions.
No, we have questions. We have questions incoming. Go ahead, Amanda.
Okay. All right. Gear up. These are going to be tough ones. No, I'm kidding.
Strap in.
All right. First of all, how many people are you expecting to go this year?
We grew the Hamfest by about 20% between 2018 and 19. We had about 5,200 last year. We don't have a gauge to really estimate, and that's the big question mark. How many people coming through the front door? We simply don't know. But we have the 12-foot aisles. We have the extra space available, so that if we do see a break down the doors crowd, we'll be able to manage it. But the vendors and the flea market folks have been beating down the doors in signing up. We're running out of space. I should say we're out of space. We're trying to pigeonhole the few last minute. I hope that answered you. 5,200.
Absolutely. So the next question is, if somebody is doing some last minute planning, is there any place to stay or to book a room? To the Hamfest, there's one is sold out completely. The other two may have a few rooms, but there are literally dozens of modern in Huntsville and city area Okay,
Yeah,
and we
I'll jump in on that because we're having some
No problems
connectivity
with
issues
room
with Mark. Yeah, the
available
host hotel is sold out.
to get
The
around
other
it.
two hotels there may have rooms, but Huntsville is a big city. It's a high tech city. The military's there, NASA's there. There's no shortage of hotels in the greater Huntsville area, so you
Good
should
point.
have no
Yeah.
problem
Well
finding
said.
finding a
Thank you.
spot. Yeah.
All right, and I'm just gonna, while Mark's here, I'm gonna mention some of the other hosts that are going to be there. Joe Eisenberg's going to be there for sure, and he's really excited about selling his new 3D printable CW kit. So you guys are going to be able to pick that up at his booth. And guess who else is going to be there? Josh, right?
Yes, I am. I'm very excited. Very excited. There was actually one other question. Where is the flea market going to be? Because I think everything's inside the center, but is there enough space for the flea market, or how does that work at Huntsville?
I'm sorry about my internet connection, but yes, Josh, everything is inside.
Wow. Okay, cool.
If you can pull up that map and show folks, that will illustrate that everything is in the big main room except for the forums.
Yeah.
There you
one
go.
room. One
There you
room
go.
for both the
Wow.
exhibitors and the flea market. And it's
There
all
are
air conditioned.
390 tables. There are
Yeah.
390 flea market tables in that drawing.
You know, I asked Mark the same question when we Skyped last week, and I was like, what about the flea market? Where are all these people going to be? And he's like, Amanda, it's summertime in Alabama. We don't do outside.
Exactly.
That's right.
It's pretty funny. Like, I never been there, so I don't know, but it makes
It's
sense
impressive.
to me. Well, thank you, Mark, for being here
Yes,
this evening.
thanks.
We appreciate it, and hopefully everyone got online and pre-registered, and you're gonna go to Huntsville and have a blast.
Yeah.
Amanda, Josh,
Hamfest.org.
Don, thank you guys so much for having me on tonight, and we hope to see all of you, as many of you that can make it in August.
We'll be
Very
there.
good. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate the hospitality over the years to Newsline and the Young Ham of the Year Award, and we hope that continues until we're both old and gray.
Absolutely.
That's
well, I'm
like
already
yesterday.
Well, no, older and grayer, I should say.
All
Thank you,
right,
Mark.
thanks, Mark. Now,
Okay.
Don, we're gonna talk some Young Ham of the Year stuff here. We were hoping to have a winner announced, but the cards were not. They were stacked against us. Let's face it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I believe the winner is going to be notified this weekend. I think. I'm not sure. I'm not part of the Young Ham of the Year Awards committee whatsoever. I only present the awards, so I find out pretty much when everyone else does when the press release goes out. But we had a Zoom meeting with the Young Ham of the Year committee chairman last night and other members of the Newsline board, talking about some changes that we're going to be implementing with the Young Ham of the Year presentation because of COVID, and we'll highlight that more as we know it. But no, in short, there is not a Young Ham of the Year recipient that has been announced publicly yet. And
All right.
That will be announced via Amateur Radio Newsline, and probably on not this Friday's report, but the following week. So look for that in about a week. And of course,
We're really
the press
excited
release
about
will come out too.
Yeah.
I am too. It's Young Ham of the Year is the highlight of my year, and we're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So, what happens in shows, we pre-plan everything, you guys. I know it doesn't seem like it, but we have
try
this
to.
plan.
Yeah.
It's planned out weeks in advance, and so we had a segment for the Young Ham of the Year going to be on tonight. So instead, we're going to go over some past winners and take the time to commemorate and remember Bill Pasternak. So Don's going to Josh is going to go through some photos here, and Don's going to talk about him because he probably remembers because he gave all these awards away. But take it away, Don.
Yeah, that's Pat. Now I'm probably gonna not remember a whole bunch of names because there's a good amount of pictures. But that I know that's Patrick Lysandru, great kid from a few years ago. You can just keep going through those, and there's of course Rich Moses, and there is Bryant Rascal. He was 2018, and Bryant is just an amazing kid. He typically wins the CW Speed Shootout there. He beats Charlie Wooten all the time, and
Wow.
Charlie Wooten is, I mean, he's well over 30 words a minute, 30, 40 words a minute. Yeah, he's just brutal when it comes to CW.
He will be as part of the Team Exuberance and Tim Duffy's K3LR forum.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Skylar Fennell is in the next picture. He's
Skylar's my Colorado boy.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. I was just getting ready to say that. Yeah, and of course you see Gordon West back there, and there's Rich Moseson, and then over on the other side, the half a face. That is a gentleman from Yazoo. That is I'm blanking on his name. Yeah, Machenbacher, Dennis Machenbacher. Yeah, great guy from Yazoo, USA. Oh, here we go. That is. What is her name? I got to get real close to see her name. I can't remember.
It's not in focus. I'm trying to myself.
Many years ago, and KG4 UIM was a past winner up there, and we typically have several past winners of the award there. And of course, there's Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF, when he was alive and with us and presenting the award. So big shoes to follow for me, following him. And the gentleman in the green shirt was the winner. Of course, we have all of the others. We've got two other winners there as well, with over there on the two young people on the side over there. And I blank on a ton of names, so I'm just going to say, of course, you see Rich Moseson, and we see Chip Margelli.
That is Chip in the sport coach.
Chip.
Oh, okay, great.
The purple shirt, that's when he was working for Heil.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he says, what's a CW guy doing working for a microphone manufacturer?
What does he know about microphones?
Because you remember his whole claim to fame was doing the CW thing, the CW Challenge on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
That's right. And he had the little telegrapher's outfit on. Yeah, very good.
Exactly, which he still has. They gave that to him. NBC gave that to him.
Awesome.
Yeah, and there's an older picture. God, I cannot think of this young man's name either. And that, as you can see, from the potato camera quality, that's a very old picture. But like I said, we've been doing it at Huntsville since late '93, I believe.
Wow.
93 or 94. 95 was my first year. Another past winner.
His shirt says Grant.
Yeah. Grant Moraine is his name. Yeah, that's his name. I can't think of his call sign now. Yeah, that's.
It was probably 1993 that Chip was there.
No, Chip was still working for Yazoo in '93. It was later on when he was with Heil. I can't remember exactly when it was, but of course there we see Dennis with Yazoo, and there's Chip representing Heil Sound. And just so many great memories of and it seems like every year the talent just gets better and better and better with these young hams that people nominate. We don't go out and find them. The people who nominate tell us about them, and it seems like every year just the bar gets higher and higher and higher of the quality. And I say it on stage every year when I go. It's like you watch the nightly news and you think that everything is just going to heck in a handbag, but and you see news stories about bad kids and the things that they do, but those kids that make those news stories, the whole mantra in the news business is, if it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah. And
so it's bad news first. It's bad news and sensational news first. You don't hear about the good kids, and that's what we're all about, because there's a hell of a lot more good kids than there are bad kids.
Absolutely.
It's just the few bad apples is what messes it up for the whole basket. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I always say every year that if these kids are indicative of the type of people who are going to be running the world when we're gone, the world's going to be fine.
I agree.
Good.
And we're going to find that out more with the YOTA camp stuff. But Don, I did have a question. What you don't just win Young Ham of the Year. I mean, you get some swag with this too. So these kids walk away from the Hamfest with their arms full of things.
Yeah, literally. Yazoo provides a radio. Heil Sound provides a headset usually to go with that radio. There's a wire antenna generally from radio waves, and CQ throws in magazine subscriptions and a bunch of other stuff. There's the kid walks out with a pretty good station.
And then they get the whole syndicate calendar full, so then they have to come visit everyone like us. So
right,
have to talk
exactly.
about
Right.
Got to do the press
you have to make
junket.
the press round, the press tour. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
it. The ham radio press junket.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's the most exciting thing is that it's really a privilege. And I know some of these that have won personally. A long time ago, and I'm not going to age him, but Brian Milishowski.
Yeah.
He's a great one to talk about because he grew up into the ARRL and even became a division director and a vice president or an acting president, one of the two, at a very young age. So this talent doesn't just stop. They progress and just get better at time with the whole hobby.
Right. And I'm blanking on exactly who all of our judges are, but there are 5 judges, but he is one of them. So a former Young Ham is one of the Young Ham of the Year judges.
Cool. That's great.
I did not know that.
That's great.
Yeah. We don't tell people a lot who the judges are. We kind of try to keep that. But that's something kind of cool. I think that he being a former Young Ham of the Year himself, he knows what to look for, and we're very honored to have him in our family and continuing to be in our family. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Well, having filled out one of these applications for a youth one time, I just thought, my gosh, you have to know a lot about the kiddo, first of all, and you've got to really study what they're doing. You got to get a lot of documentation. I mean, these applications can be 50 pages with photos and such. So one of them this year was too big to email. It had to be Dropboxed. Yeah, it was too big to. Yeah, it choked the email.
Well, I mean, that's what you said.
Year.
The accolades of some of these
pages, yeah.
The accolades of some of these young people is like through the roof. You were saying, Don.
Yeah.
So I mean that's very impressive. It's steep competition.
And it's quite the resume that you have to provide with proof and like newspaper clippings and quotes from teachers is always something good to put in there, and any kind of press that the young person has gotten. Yeah, it's not just one of those like hey, my kid's a 10-year-old extra. Can you give them a radio?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what are they doing as a 10-year-old extra? It's great that they're a 10-year-old extra. That's awesome.
Of course.
But what is your 10-year-old extra doing to stand out from the other 10-year-old extras or 17-year-old extras or whatever, the rest of them? What is it that makes them head and shoulders above? And a lot of times it comes down to almost like comes down to 2 generally. And from what the judges have told me, it's really hard to pick between 2. It's like there's maybe 1 or 2 little tiny thing that makes the difference. So the most information you can give, the better it is for your nominee.
All right. Well, we can't wait to find out. Dang it.
I can't either. I'm excited. I can't either. After we opened nominations in March. They ran through May, so 3 months of dealing with nominations. And of course, in the last day and a half, they all come pouring in because everybody waits till the last minute. So it was a mad thrash getting all those together and getting everything to the judges. And so now, that work is over, and now it's just time to notify the young person, and then we'll tell everybody else and go from there.
All right. Well, Josh, I think you have a word from ICOM for us.
Let's go with that.
June kicked off hurricane season, and another rough wildfire season may be on the horizon. When natural disasters strike, cellular towers and power grids can quickly become overloaded and incapacitated. Emergency comms need to be instant, reliable, and allow interoperation with other organizations and agencies for relief coordination.
Today, so,
Amateur radio provides reliable emergency communications with of amateur D-Star, digital, HF, and analog radios, ICOM IC SAT-100 portable satellite radio, and IP501 HM LTE radios are an ideal solution for additional coverage. Use ICOM's VE-PG4 ROIP gateway to bridge these radios and more to various modern communication systems, creating a seamless network. You can count on ICOM. ICSAT 100 is the perfect handheld satellite radio for use outside of cellular or network range. By operating on Iridium's constellation of satellites, quickly and easily connect with other PTT devices even from remote areas. Mobile versions are also available. One-to-many global comms with the push of a button. ICOM's IP501H and IP501M radios provide instant wide area coverage over LTE. By using an LTE network, you bypass the need for pre-existing infrastructure, allowing nationwide coverage without the added cost of building and maintaining your own. Instant wide area coverage over LTE with ICOM's IP501 connect to all these devices and more, even systems operating on different protocols with VE-PG4 ROIP gateway. From land mobile and LTE radios to IP communication terminals and IP phone systems, they work together to form one seamless and uninterruptible network, ensuring your comms are received. Bridge connection between radio systems, LTE transceiver gateway, IP phone interconnect, multi-site connection between VE-PG4S, and external equipment connection. ICOM's VE-PG4 is the solution for your interoperability needs. Visit icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
Well, hey, thanks a lot, everybody, for watching Ham Nation here at the midpoint about. We want to say a big thank you to ICOM for sponsoring the show. And also remind everybody that they still do their giveaway twice a week or twice a month. They will do a giveaway to match with the Ham Nation episode. The link is in the description to join. You basically click enter now. And so they do 2 giveaways of swag. They pick 3 winners 2 times a month and 1 grand prize. Last month's grand prize was for July, and it was an ID 5100A. I mentioned it on the show, and the winner for that was Eddie Bryant, W3EBT. So congratulations, Eddie. The last swag giveaways were Kayla Murphy, Stephen Foot, and Joel Gallagher. So congratulations to all of you. And please, make sure you do click that link and get involved with the giveaway, because it's free to get involved. And thanks again, ICOM, for doing that. I'm throwing it back to Don, because we're going to hear some news updates from the Amateur Radio Newsline.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and get into that?
Okay. I like it.
From Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2281, this is Ham Nation Headlines for Wednesday, July 21st, 2021. Our top stories are in the world of amateur radio business. Some good news and some sad.
Ham Radio Outlet, the nationwide amateur radio retailer in the U.S., has announced that its ongoing expansion plans will include a store in the state of Florida. The new store will join 12 already open in such states as California in the west, where the company is based, to Delaware in the east, Arizona and Texas in the south, and New Hampshire in the north. The company's announcement on social media set off a wave of speculation about the new location, especially on Instagram, where the company wrote, "We're not telling yet. We're open to suggestions." The closest ham radio outlet to Florida is in Atlanta, Georgia. The company, which calls itself the world's largest supplier of amateur radio equipment, is also known for shipping internationally. In other business news, the Dayton Daily News reports that Sandy Mendelson, founder of the legendary Ohio electronics retail store Mendelson's Liquidation Outlet, died on July 3rd at age 77. The downtown Dayton location, which was for decades a magnet for local and visiting hams, especially during Hamvention, closed its doors in late 2019. Its 8-story building was sold to a Columbus, Ohio developer.
Newsline anchor Jim Dameron, N8 TMW reporting. Imagine powering your own portable station simply by using your body instead of a battery. Research in Israel makes that sound more real than you may think.
Researchers call it piezoelectricity, and it's been around for a while. The accumulation of electrical charges from solid materials is actually not a new concept, at least in the lab. Now, researchers at Tel Aviv University believe this nanotechnology will one day be able to power medical devices, such as pacemakers, by transforming the body's mechanical movements into electricity. Now, that's because they've discovered a way to do this using materials that are non-toxic, making them safe for implantation into the body. The research was published recently in the journal Nature Communications. Now the time has come for this to be tried out on humans. The lead researcher, Professor Awood Gazit, said the practical applications extend beyond medicine. He said the device could also power streetlights simply by being placed on the road to capture energy from tyre movement. We hams, of course, will be watching and waiting for results of this new development in green energy. For those of us who operate portable or mobile, it certainly puts all kinds of possibilities for power in motion. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
In Europe, it's all about amplitude modulation for some amateurs. There's an upcoming event celebrating this respected mode.
The Amplitude Modulation Amateur Radio Society is a newly formed group, but the mode it celebrates has been around for quite some time. It's the original voice mode on the amateur radio bands. The Society is joining with AM Amateur Radio Europe to host the summer AM QSO party, which is happening from the 16th to the 18th of July. The AM QSO party organisers said on their website that although this is not a contest, there will be certificates awarded for points earned. The main purpose of the event is to encourage QSOs and conversation. Hams are expected to be operating on the AM portions of 160, 80, 40, 20, 15, 12 and 10 metres. A hopeful sentiment on the website adds, quote, "Fingers crossed that propagation allows us to use the higher bands for longer distance QSOs around Europe and even further afield," end of quote. Details can be found on Facebook by searching for AM Amateur Radio Europe. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With Jim Dameron, N8TMW, Graham Kemp, VK4BB, Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. Now here's the solar update from Dr. Tamitha Skov, WX6SWW.
We've had 2 far-side eruptions over the last 24 to 48 hours, and we've got multiple M-flare players rotating back into Earth view very soon. Those stories and more in the news this week. Space weather this week is definitely ratcheting up a bit. The sun has fired several warning shots across the bow, so to speak, as we watch 2 massive solar storm eruptions from the sun's far side, but I'll talk more about that in a minute. Meanwhile, on the sun's front side, we can see a lot of different active regions, including 3 numbered regions. We've got region 2842 in the north, plus 2843, and the new one, 2844 in the south. All 3 of these are not really flare players, but region 2844, this new one in the south, has been firing some solar storms as of late, so we're going to expect a lot more from that. Meanwhile, we also have this big coronal hole that has been rotating in through the Earth strike zone over the past couple days, and it gave us a little bit of a shot of fast solar wind, which might have even had a mini solar storm buried in it, and it gave some decent aurora views at high latitudes for just a moment before things calmed down. But that is continuing to rotate off to the sun's far side, so we're not going to get any more activity from it. But we do have a filament in the north that we're also watching. This filament region might erupt. It's kind of hard to tell, but we definitely have had recent filament eruptions over the past couple of days, so our sun is waking up. And on top of that, solar flux is boosting, so this is good news for amateur radio operators and emergency responders. Switching to our M-flare threat meter, you can see over the past week we kind of started ratcheting down from the B floor with the X-ray flux, and that means that the solar flux began to tank a little bit as well. But this was expected because it was from region 2840, which was rotating to the sun's far side, and that was one of the big M-flare players that we'll be talking about in a bit. Meanwhile, as you see, we dropped down to about almost the A floor, right around the 13th, but it sure didn't last long. The X-ray flux started climbing again. This was from region 2843, and sure enough, by the 14th, 15th, and 16th, definitely, it's been popping little B-class flares here and there, even into the C-class range, which is good news for amateur radio operators and emergency responders, because that means that solar flux is popping back up for us a bit, and it's increasing radio propagation on Earth's day side. But don't worry, not from these regions are we seeing anything that's going to give us any big worries for radio blackouts. But that's not going to last very long, because we do have some M-flare players on the sun's far side that will be rotating into Earth view in about 4 days or so, and that is definitely going to boost that solar flux a bit, but it's also going to bring a higher risk for radio blackouts. Switching to our solar storm conditions, as you can see, over the past week or so, we've been kind of hovering between unsettled conditions and even quiet conditions. We did have a little bit of a bump up right around the 12th and the 13th, and this was due to kind of a glancing blow of a mini solar storm, but really didn't last all that long and didn't bring us all that much aurora. Then things kind of settled back down again, and then on the 14th, wham, we got hit by a, not too big of a fast wind stream from that massive coronal hole that's rotating in through the Earth strike zone, and there might have even been an embedded mini solar storm in there. It's kind of hard to tell. Meanwhile, it did bring us up to active conditions over about 6 hours and did bring us a little bit of aurora, but things pretty much have settled down quite quickly after that. We've only been hovering around unsettled conditions, and that's going to continue for a little bit, but it's probably even going to quiet down just a little bit more here over this next week. But we're always going to be prepared, because we do have region 2844, which is an active solar storm producer. So don't expect these things to stay rock solid, because we could get a solar storm launch that's Earth directed at any moment. So what else does our sun have in store for us this week? Well, this is stereo A. It's our partially far-sighted monitor. You can see here's Earth, here's the sun, and here's stereo A staring at the sun, well, a little bit from the side. And when we take a look at stereo's view, oh my goodness, you can see region 2842 in the north, 2843 in the south, and the new region 2844. But that's not all. You can also see some bright regions both in the north and in the south beginning to rotate into stereo's view. And on the 13th, when we had that first big far side eruption, you don't really see any evidence on the stereo's view, so we do know that that's a further side that's likely region 2840 that's not even in stereo's view yet. But as we get to the 14th and 15th, look at this. Wham from region 2844, wham from this new region, which is 2838, and then wham, another region in the south. So all within 24 hours, we had 3 big solar storms on the sun's far side, which is likely why that big coronagraph view looks so crazy for the 15th. So what this tells us is that over this next week, we're going to have definitely some more excitement when it comes to space weather. We're likely going to have some M-flare players as well as solar storm producers, and very good chance there's going to be aurora in our future. On top of that, expect the solar flux to start boosting a bit, so we could actually get very close to the good range for radio propagation on Earth's day side here in about a week. Switching to our solar storm conditions and aurora possibilities over the coming week, we're calming down from that fast solar wind from the coronal hole that's been rotating in through the Earth strike zone over the past couple days, and things are pretty much on their way out. So at high latitudes, NOAA's expecting unsettled conditions with up to about a 20% chance of a minor storm over the next couple days. Now at mid-latitudes, we're really only expecting unsettled to even normal conditions with about a 10% chance of active conditions over the next couple days, and easily these conditions will stretch out through the rest of this week, unless of course region 2844 decides to fire a solar storm, and literally within the next couple days it could be within the Earth strike zone. So this will definitely change if 2844 decides to be a solar storm player. So the space weather this week is getting to be a little bit exciting. We've had 2 kind of warning shots fired on the sun's far side that lets us know that there's a lot of activity that's going to be in store for us. But don't worry, we have no Earth-directed solar storms right now. Those were far side eruptions, and they're moving away from Earth. So aurora photographers, you can kind of rest easy this week. Things are reasonably quiet. But, you might consider charging your batteries, because maybe in about a week or so, we'll start getting some Earth-directed solar storms that could bring us some decent aurora. Now, amateur radio operators and emergency responders, well, you know, things aren't too bad for you either right now. We're getting in the mid-70s for solar flux right now on Earth's day side, which means marginal radio propagation. And enjoy these conditions, especially the quiet conditions, because in about a week, we could have some M-flare players returning and radio blackouts could be in store for you. So along with the boosted solar flux, yeah, there could be a lot more noise on the bands. So enjoy this little respite. Now also, you GPS users, well, again, things are probably pretty quiet for you right now, and for the moment, GPS reception even near dawn and dusk and even at low latitudes is looking pretty good. But all of this could change here very rapidly within this next week, so be on the lookout for reception to be a bit more dodgy, probably next week. I'm Tamitha Skov, the Space Weather Woman. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Dr. T. Make sure you subscribe to her on Twitter. Follow her at Tamitha Skov, and of course, check out spaceweatherwoman.com. She also has a YouTube channel at Tamitha Skov. Make sure and check that out. I wanted to mention an upcoming story on Amateur Radio Newsline that you'll hear when the new report is released on Friday. We're covering a special event station that supports the people of Cuba. It's Whiskey for Charlie. Look that up on QRZ, and you'll get all the information you need to know. It's also being live streamed on YouTube, so you can actually watch Alex as he does the special event. I made contact with him yesterday amid a ton of malicious interference, and this was the human kind of malicious interference, not the digital kind that Josh and other people have reported on YouTube about the Cuban government interfering with certain frequencies on 40 meters. This was human malicious interference, and it was horrible. But nonetheless, Alex was able to make a ton of contacts. He continues to make a ton of contacts. Whiskey for Charlie, W4C, Whiskey for Cuba. Make sure you look that up on QRZ and go and make contact. He's a Cuban American living down in Florida, and I heard a rumor. I'm not sure how substantiated this is, but I thought somewhere where the government of Cuba had shut down amateur radio repeaters on the island.
I heard that
to
too.
try to stifle information coming in and going out. So, you know, the people of Cuba are getting the short end of the stick on a whole lot of things, and it's been proven over and over. I mean, I don't want to get political here, but communism doesn't work. I think we all know that, and that's as far as I'll go on that note. But make sure you go and support Alex and the W4C, and it's really cool to watch him live stream that on his YouTube channel. All that information in his website is available on the QRZ page for Whiskey for Charlie. And Amanda, I noticed something in the Newsline report. Of course, tonight I'm wearing a black shirt, and Newsline Don was wearing a white shirt. So does that mean that is the actual Don and I'm actually the evil twin Lon?
I'm going to have to say yes on that. We are now.
You know, we've
Lon.
never been seen together in the same place.
No.
I don't know. I'm not saying.
I'm not saying what Miranda wears. So.
I don't think she wears anything. Does she? No, probably not.
Later discussion.
Anyway, over to you.
I do want to say that Josh did an incredible video last week about the Cuban jamming. If people haven't been able to check that out, Josh managed to go edit that video, do it, have a meeting with me and some others with our net controls and such, and did it flawlessly. And then I see it the next day, and I'm like, where does he find the time? So,
yeah, again, those guys. That Cuban jammer is loud down here in South Mississippi.
I have not turned on the radio yet.
Loud.
It's loud here in Southern California. I hear it here. So yeah, it's legit.
I mean, we're gonna hear it if they're pushing 5 kilowatts or whatever the rumor is, and how much power they're running. But we got to break from this. We got to go to our fantastic guests. Yes, so we're going to talk about kids.
Let's go. Let's move on.
Kids, shenanigans, Skyline Chili. Where do I begin here? Oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about. So let me introduce everyone to Neil, WB9 VPG. Thanks, Neil, for being here. And Adam was an attendee. Adam Johnson, he was an attendee. This is his first year at YOTA camp, obviously, since it's the first time I think it's been hosted here in the States. KD9 KIS. So You guys say hi real quick.
Hey, how's it going?
Real quick.
And I can't wait to talk to Adam, you guys, because he was so enthusiastic last night, and he wears a Colorado Rockies baseball cap, so he's got that going for him. Anyhow, Neil, this has been a long time in the works, and you and Jocelyn, I think, were really key in making this happen. So just tell us how this all worked out, and you finally got to do this.
Yeah, I was able to assemble a great team. Jocelyn Bro, Sam Rose, and Sterling Coffee. And we added some great staff in Andy and Tony Maluzzi, some great volunteers, parents, sponsors. It was a big team effort. It was about 2 years and 4 months ago we started talking about all of this, and somewhere along the line I lost my mind and said, hey, what if I become the director of this thing and make it work? And here we are, and it's been just a ton of work, a ton of phone calls, a ton of emails, and then a ton more emails, and then a ton more emails to make all this happen.
Yes,
and then
COVID.
yes, and then and COVID and Sunday, it just, even Saturday during the staff meeting, it hadn't really hit me yet, but Sunday is like, oh wow, we're actually doing this. And we had a blast. We had a great week. We accomplished our goals and then some. Adam can tell you about it from his perspective. I'd rather, that's
Sure.
one of the things about YOTA is that it's youth led, and so I did a lot of it this year, but I'm going to be turning over a lot of that next year and start training people to take over more of that. But the sessions were mostly led by youth. I think we were at 89% of the sessions were led by people that were 30. We did have to stretch it to 31, 31 or under. And the peer interaction thing is a big thing in YOTA. And so we don't always have the greatest experts, although the greatest experts, they wanted to come. But we found that people don't always interact with the greatest experts because they're intimidated. And so
I understand that.
The
Well,
peer interaction was the key.
Give us a rundown on like how many youth did you get there this year? Oh, we have a kitty. Kitties always make a meeting better. How many youth did you get to come this year to Cincinnati?
So we ended up with 23. Our original plan was 27.
Mm-hmm.
We had some that couldn't get across the border due to COVID. So we did end up with just United States being represented, but this camp is a region-wide camp. So it's North, Central, and South America, and that's what we were recruiting. We had some people that were going to come from some other countries, and we just couldn't make it happen because of the COVID restrictions crossing the border, but we hope to do that next year. So we ended up with 23.
Very good. That's a really good turnout for this kind of year with craziness. So, Adam, I'm going to go to you for a minute here. Well, actually for longer than a minute. Thanks for joining us this evening, by the way. First, I just want you to give us your background, how you got into amateur radio and why you went to YOTA in the first place.
Yeah, so my name is Adam, KD9KIS. I'm from Ellsworth, Wisconsin. And I actually originally got into ham radio, or got my license about in February of 2018. And what happened is about 5 or so years before that, my dad's cousin, he's a ham radio extra now, but we were down in his basement. He had it by his rig and stuff, and kind of showed me what it was, and I thought it was cool. And talked to a station in California, and I was amazed and everything. And so he sent me a book, and I never read it, and I'm a person that doesn't like reading much. But then as time went on, and I got the radio merit badge through Boy Scouts and got Eagle Scout, and still wasn't fully interested. And then junior year of high school, we were required to read a book. And you know me, I'm not much of a reader, and we went through the library, didn't find anything good. So then I'm like, well, shoot, here's this ham radio book, and I'm like, if I read this thing and pass the test, it obviously shows that I read the book. So for the kid that hates reading, in under 2 weeks, I read the entire technician book and then passed the test. And then that summer, I went to field day, found out what HF was totally pumped about that. And then that November, I got my general license, and it's been history since. It's been crazy and awesome. And then how I heard about YOTA was actually funny. It's about January of 2020. So a local repeater, Oakdale, they played the news line every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central. And I was just laying in my bed listening to it. And I usually don't listen to them, but I was. And they talked about YOTA, Youth on the Air. So I looked it up, and from that moment on, I was just totally stoked about it. And I was fired up. I'm like, oh, I really hope I went and applied. I'm like, I really hope I get in. And then last year I got accepted, and I was already going crazy. And then COVID delayed us, and I was bummed, but still pumped to get in. And then, I was pumped all the way up until this year, or up until 2 weeks ago. And then I get to the camp, and it's even way better than I even expected. So, I mean, it was totally worth it. And I'm definitely excited to be a part of it in the future. Like I told Neil, of either being a future camper or a chaperone, or as he kind of told us on the first night, of hoping to have more of the campers take it over. It's a youth program. So I'm hoping to be a part of the program more if it allows, and I had a blast. It really is awesome.
That's great, and I think you will be involved in the future of it. That's for sure, especially with how excited you are. All right, Josh is going to pull up some photos here. We're going to go over some of your recaps here. This was you guys had both chocolate and a vanilla cake there. So welcome.
Ham flavored cake.
Ham flavored, yes.
Ham flavored, yep.
Ham infused.
All right, and these are not in any particular order. I kind of tried to put them in order, but it was impossible.
That was our opening banquet.
Okay, let's go to the next one there. Oh, this was a kit building. Adam, what were you guys building?
So we were actually building a receiver, an 80-meter receiver, because that was on the Monday morning that we built those, and that has Leah and Rachel in there. But then not Rachel. Oh, I screwed that up. But sorry. But then as time went, or Kaylee, sorry. And as then we did that on the Monday, and then on the Friday before we left for our flight, or Thursday, somewhere there, Thursday or Friday, we did it was Thursday afternoon. We did the fox hunt, which I've never been a part of before. So I set up different put foxes around the VOA, the land there. And then we had a race to go after it, and that was a blast because I've never been a part of any kind of fox hunt before, been interested, and this was definitely a cool beginning, a cool opening, and we got to do a soldering and build a kit, so that was awesome as well.
And it's nice. I love to see the females in there, and here just another shot of the kit building. It looks like, and this guy looks pumped. Oh wait, so this is at the VOA, and I have a couple of photos here. But this was a whole group shot. That's all of you, right, Adam?
Yep, yeah, that was the front of the VOA there, and that was a group shot. So you get the blue one. I think there's one, and I don't know if you have it or not. That actually we have the flag that we're holding up. But that's all of us. Those were all the youth that were there. And,
all right, the next one. I think this is commemorative for somebody else. Neil, who was this for?
Oh, that was the Y.
That's for Gentry, right? Or you didn't do that for Paul Gentry? That's like his signature move.
No,
whatever makes you feel good. No, it was a Y for YOTA.
Okay, so this was really cute to see all the kids doing this. So, and this was your guys' basically your first day together, right? So this was your bonding day. Okay.
Yep.
And then let's move on. Who was this guy? He looked so excited to be mentoring everybody.
Yeah, so that was Sam KC2 LRC, and he was a chaperone kind of teacher, but he was the original one of him and Sterling were the two, as far as I know, that in 2016 went to, I believe, Austria, something like that. Yep.
Sam Rose is the man.
Yeah, him and I got along good. He's got a lot of energy too, so him and I were running full throttle all week long. But no, he was there, and so he's the one that originally went over. Him and Stroh went over and saw the youngsters on the air and helped really bring that back and help Neil and to form and everybody else help form Youth on the Air in our area.
Well, he every
taking pictures though. Go ahead.
Every photo I saw him in, he was like just really into it to help you guys. So that was cool. We can go to the next one. Oh, and I think what was going on here?
So this was a day that was really awesome, and about one of my favorites that I'm hoping to do in the future is this was when we were doing the balloon launch. When we did put APRS tracking on it and radios, and this. So with the big box there that held the GoPro, and that balloon went up over 100,000 feet up in the air and landed in a bean field, which they were able to retrieve it all back and everything. And then we launched like 4 or 5 other balloons, went up about 40,000 feet. I think those went for about 2 days or so. But that balloon launch, that was one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of. And like I said, I really want to bring that back home here and hopefully for a club, be able to do that at a club meeting or something, because that was a blast. That was awesome. I couldn't thank the McElroy family enough for that. That was a true dream right there.
Tom and his kiddos, and I have to give a shout out to Audrey and Jack. Really great kiddos. I met them personally when they were visiting Colorado. Love them, and they have grown so much since I first met them 6 years ago. But all right, we can go to the next one. This sometimes happens during camp, right? Sterling, sorry, bro. I couldn't leave this picture out.
So the funny thing about that is that after the whole camp was over with, Sterling shared a picture from Fitbit of all of his sleep hours during the week, and throughout the entire week at camp, he got like a total of like 20 hours of sleep. And then he got home and he had like a one night where he slept like for 10 or 12 hours. So it was.
And we can move on, but Sterling, I'm so sorry, honey, but he's in chat. Yeah, I totally threw that out there. All right, this is you guys on the air. This is you doing some HF and stuff, right?
Yeah, so this was inside the VOA, obviously, and that's where they right there we had for sure 3 stations going there, 5, 6, and 7, I think they were. But as you can see me there on the lower portion there with Ruth. But yeah, no, it was fun just to be able to make contacts with other people. And actually back home here from a guy from our club, Don NJDH, I sent him a text saying, hey, we're going to be on. And I was actually able to contact him on, I believe, 20 meters. So that was a blast. But everything else of being able to talk on HF, obviously, and then the cool part of getting other people involved that usually aren't on HF or a little more mic shy. So that was a really cool part too, to get other hams that aren't necessarily much into the phone HF part of it also.
And I think that's kind of part of camp, and I think Neil probably observed this a whole lot more than you did, Adam, is that you saw everyone come in with their strong point. Somebody was willing to pick up a soldering iron and take on this kit building, whereas someone would have been like pretty shy to do that, but yet they'd get on a microphone and talk their hearts out. So that's part of the growth and bonding, I guess, wouldn't you agree, Neil?
Absolutely. We've got all kinds of varied talents throughout the group, and we try to capitalize on those and have those people lead and mentor. And you see Bryant Rascal here, KG5 HVO, mentoring his contesters here.
Yep.
That was not by accident.
Absolutely.
Another former Young Ham of the Year, and Bryant's another ham radio monster.
He is.
Just amazing. Just
that's
so
CW.
Yeah. Just well, in everything. Just in everything.
He really is amazing. And then
there she is.
This is the first photo of her, but Neil has to describe this skyline chili phenomenon.
Yes. So we decided that, Youngsters on the Air does all this cultural stuff, and they have foods from all these different countries that they bring in. So we decided that we were going to do our version of that. And so for the week, we got some foods that were unique to Cincinnati. And so one of the biggest things in Cincinnati is chili, but it's not just chili soup. It's chili on conies and on spaghetti with a mound of shredded cheddar cheese on top. So Julie is here holding a big tub of that Skyline famous shredded cheese, and putting that on top of everybody's chili and noodles, to make sure that they do the Skyline experience correctly. And I know Josh is all about Skyline chili. So
yeah, from here in Southern California, big fan.
Yeah,
we love it.
Everybody had a coney and a small 3-way, and nobody even giggled when I said 3-way. So I don't know. I was amazed. They didn't even giggle.
I wasn't
That's
there.
how good these kids were. But if Don were there, he
I would have been there. Now, you got to explain the whole Skyline phenomenon, because that is not Texas chili. That is not Hormel chili like you get in a can.
No.
That is not Wolf brand. That is completely and totally unique to that part of the country. There is cinnamon in that chili, and the fact that
it has
cinnamon in the chili.
It has
There's
a very
in it, and it's served on spaghetti. It's a very unique taste, and I like it. My wife Dawn, when we went there last year for Neil and Julie's wedding, happy anniversary by the way, on the 7th. They just made it a year without killing each other.
Yep.
Or rather, without her killing you, I should say.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very unique taste, and yes, and Dawn likes the chili that I make and that her brother makes, which is not Cincinnati style. And she was a little bit iffy on the spaghetti, but yeah, she gave it the big South Louisiana thumbprint of approval.
It's actually got like a Vietnamese flavor profile to it with the
Bit,
spices.
yeah.
It's kind of like with the sweetness and stuff. Yeah, that's a no for me.
Oh no, you got to try it.
It's good.
All right. Do we have more? We have more
see,
photos.
a couple of years ago, we had all the guys over from the ICQ podcast, and they came to visit, and we took them to Skyline Chili, and they all said, yeah, no, we're not doing that next year.
Oh, okay. Well, I did. Not only did Neil just celebrate his 1-year anniversary, but you celebrated it, and I had this photo, and Josh is working on this, by the way. She was so sweet. What a good wife. She's like, no, honey, you do this youth camp, and I'm here to support you. So you gave her roses during one of the banquets. Yeah. I think that was really awesome.
Yeah, we talked about what week was best to do the camp, and we surveyed the kids, and we looked at availability at our venues and availability of our staff, and the best week to do it was the week of July 11th, and July 11th is our anniversary. So we spent our anniversary for the opening day of camp. So I took a minute to give her some roses, and nice. I took her to dinner the Friday night before. I was trying to block out the whole day. Of course, that didn't work because I had to run back up to VOA and pick up some stuff and do some stuff. But
of course,
I did at least get her dinner ahead of time, and so we're gonna see about maybe getting some ocean time here in a week or so.
Maybe a redo. Oh, and someone says, what? QR O'Connor, he says, we like her more than Neil. She gave us food.
That's what the Newsline crew says too. They say they like Julie better than they like me. So.
She's a sweetheart.
So
I'm queuing. Keep for 1 second. I've got a couple more.
Okay.
And by the way, that picture of Sterling reminds me, and Adam can attest to this.
Those are
in
just
the
not
official
the
camp program. On Friday, it says, 2:00 camp dismisses, 2:30 airport shuttle leaves, 2:31 entire staff collapses from exhaustion.
That is a fact. I even read that right on the actual itinerary, and that's definitely a true thing on there. And I have a feeling that's probably what happened too.
It was.
It's odd.
Sterling
Sterling
and Sam are just amazing. I'm so glad that you got those two in there. And in fact, I got a text, Adam, from Chris Bro, KD8YVJ, and he told me in the text, he said, Adam's the man. So you have a fan in Chris Bro.
Yeah, Chris and I got along good, and that kind of helps explain that a little bit, is that every night after we come back from the event, whether it be 11 o'clock at night or something, at about 11:30, 11:45, we were all forced up to our hotel room for the night. So there'd be a group of about 10 of us there, whoever wanted to come down to the lobby of the hotel. We all chill out there. And I had some seating and stuff, so I'd bring down all the cheese curds that I brought from back home. We sit there and have cheese curds and snacks and just sit there and chill and talk to each other until the adults force us to go up to our hotel rooms, and then we'd get up early in the morning and wish we didn't stay up so late. But no, that was a blast every night between Chris and Leah and I mean everybody down there. That was a blast every night.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand you're the cheese curd king. That's pretty cool bringing those in from Wisconsin to share with everybody. And I wanted to say congratulations publicly now to Chris. Chris Bro, KD8YVJ, not only a Young Ham of the Year award, actually the reigning. We awarded that to him last year at Neil's wedding, so he is the current Young Ham of the Year recipient. But he also just got his private pilot's license. So congratulations to Flyboy Chris.
So, Josh, would you like me to just share my screen and I can just scroll through the rest of them?
Well, it's weird. They're not getting picked up for some reason. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't like the pictures. Oh, wait. I think I got it. Oh, here we go.
There's some new ones.
Woo woo. Okay.
It was unhappy, but now it's happy, so we're good.
Maybe it's because there was just 4,000 of them, Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we're not done yet.
I know.
We're still collecting pictures.
But
This was my favorite activity. Now I know the space station contact was incredible. The high altitude balloon thing, contesting, all the things that we did were just incredible. But the simplicity of what's going on right here was just so much fun. It was Doug Grant, K1DG's famous eyeball sprint, where the kids went around the room and practiced their contesting skills by doing the exchange, but they did it with their voice and not with a radio. So they just practiced the exchanges. But the second time around, I had told all of the parents and the volunteers and the staff ahead of time that the second time we're going to be Don Wilbanks. We're going to be the QRM. And so
Lord.
we took pile-ups that were recorded and cranked them over the PA system. I went around yelling, "Hola!"
Audio. Yeah.
Will Jordan,
Then
my
on top of that-
was sitting in the back banging on the tinfoil trays from the Montgomery and barbecue that we'd had.
Oh, man.
I think Tony Maluzzi actually got pushed. It was so much fun. I don't know when we've had a room full of hams laughing so hard.
That's funny. Let's see what else we got going on there. There's Jocelyn. I wanted to make sure I included a picture of him. This looks like, was this the same activity?
Same activity, yeah.
Okay.
And Jocelyn was going around playing stuff on his phone.
Oh, okay. So that's why the phone's out.
Yep.
Next, let's see. What do we got? Oh, this was Dave and Buster's. How was that, Adam?
Yeah.
That was a blast. So I had never been to a Dave and Buster's before. Never really knew what it was. So, I mean, that was that much more exciting for him. But I mean, I don't think there's any pictures, but I was doing the dancing machine with a few other people, and it was a blast that night. We were going crazy, switching between people, and just a bunch of racing games, and yeah, that was a night.
I have a couple more photos.
Mm-hmm.
There's some racing.
There's Connor.
There's Connor.
Yeah, and that was cool with the racing games because, well, you guys probably know being a Dave & Buster's, but they actually connect a lot of the machines together. So, like, all four of the people are all playing against each other on the same screen.
Okay.
Oh, that's neat.
Well, if I had the video of you doing the dancing, Adam, I totally... Oh, there's another one of those photos. Like, this does happen at camp. I don't care what camp you go to.
Yeah.
This is a thing.
That was
Somebody
pre-hand
passes
in water, right? That was pre-hand in the
Yes.
cup of water.
Yeah. Well, I think about that picture also. I think that was snapped. Might have been somebody else took it, but so the chaperone's supposed to let you out of your room every morning or whatever, let you know that you're free to go. Well, the one morning I kept on asking to see if we were allowed to be out yet because it was like 8 a.m. Well, here Sterling was sleeping, and Sam Sterling was still sleeping away, and like we're like, we gotta catch a bus here in about 30 minutes, and but So, yeah.
Oh, so this was important. Neil, how did you manage to arrange an ISS contact for these kids?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but we went through the whole application process and put together a proposal. Jocelyn had done one at iSpace in Cincinnati before, so he was able to lend us a hand in getting everything going, and so we filed for it. And after some time, and they saw that we were actually a go and things were going to happen, why they told us, well, we're going to do everything we can to get you an ARIS contact, and they did. And here's Ruth Willett, KM4LAO, who headed all of that up. So
Amazing.
I filled out a bunch of the paperwork and everything, but it was all up to her. She was the one who put it all together and had all the kids rehearse everything and make the contact happen. So this is another example of our youth leading the activities, and she did the whole ARIS contact on her own.
That's amazing. And I can't remember the astronaut that you guys talked to. My apologies on that. Adam, who was it? Aki. Okay.
Yeah, but
Adam, so did you get to talk to him? Did you get to ask him a question? What was the question you asked?
yeah, so I actually got to ask 2 questions. I mean, this is a really cool thing. First of all, just being able to talk to an astronaut in the ISS, but for the last few years, my dad and I have been trying to talk via radio to them, and we haven't been successful with that. We've been able to get through the repeater on the ISS, but haven't been able to talk to an astronaut, so it just made this so much cooler. But no, one of my questions was how often are they on the ISS simplex? And then my other one was what cool technology are they looking forward to? So I believe was my second question. But they said for the ISS simplex that they they don't usually get that much free time, but when they do, they try to every few weeks. But it's rare they go unscheduled. But it was just kind of cool just to be able to talk to them and ask questions. I mean, realizing that, yeah, it was, the whole thing was just awesome. Yeah.
Like that's a thing on your wish list. Oh, you guys, I didn't get many pictures of this. This is another downtime. You guys went to an amusement park.
Yep. Yeah. So we went to Kings Island. It was actually right after we talked to the astronauts. Went to Kings Island, and yeah, that was another day of fun too, of just hanging out with everybody there and switching between groups and going on rides in the amusement park. And we did two short little 5-minute contests of 2-meter simplex. So we all had handhelds. We were all trying to make contact with each other, and you had 5 minutes to do it. And that was a crazy fun mess going there too. And I don't know if there's any pictures, but John brought a big kind of like a huge handheld antenna and directional. So that was kind of cool. And he did really good at that, at making contacts. And they had a mini Eiffel Tower. I can't remember how tall that thing was, and people were going to the top of that and making contacts, so that was funny as well.
It was kind of funny. When we got back and looked at the Youth on the Air Facebook page, we saw a comment from somebody who was at Kings Island that day, and it's like, hey, wait, I was at Kings Island. I saw those two of those kids in the blue shirts, and I pointed out to my wife, hey, look at that. He's got an HT and an arrow antenna. These are my people. And so they got their ice cream and started talking to them. So it was that was cool.
That is hilarious. Now this is the satellite contact kind of forum, I guess. Who first? I need to know who this gal is. Just tell me who she is, so we know who the mentor was here.
Yeah. So this is Ruth KM4LAO, and she's the same girl that was in charge of the space station contact. But no, that was another thing I've never done before, but I've always been interested in is satellite contacts. And yeah, it was. She showed us how it all goes, and great presentation, and everything, and what apps to get, and antennas, good ideas, this and that. And we did get to make a few contacts, which was super fun because I didn't realize like how to exactly do it and everything. And props to her and thanking her for kind of showing us everything. And that is another thing I think I'll definitely get into in the future. I told her to let me know she has somebody that makes those antennas. So I told her to contact me, and hopefully I'll be able to buy an antenna from where those are made. But no, I'm definitely excited to get into it. That was another fun one for all of us, I think.
And we need to have Ruth on sometime, and I don't know how she's been left out, but she's an amazing ham. Let's move on. We gotta move on here.
I think that's it.
Oh, was that the last one? Well,
yep.
I would say that YOTA was a success. And Adam, I'm going to give you, I'll give you both 30 seconds for final words here. But Adam, what are you looking forward to after this year? You going to meet up with these guys again, guys and gals? You going to keep this friendship going?
Yeah, so what's been awesome is we have this Telegram app that we would use to communicate while we were at camp, a little bit before camp. Well, I think the funny part is we use it a lot during camp, but since camp, that thing has exploded. Like every day I look at my phone and it says 250 new notifications, and I'm like, oh Lord, this will take me an hour to get to. But no, so it's odd because so when I went to this camp, I knew absolutely nobody, and now I had really good friends with the majority of these people, and still talking with them, and I'm pumped to meet them more. And even at camp, everybody was telling how we all want to stay in contact, and hopefully at if anything at Hamfest, people are saying, hey, let's have like 4 of us a group together. Let's get an Airbnb and let's split the costs and have people meet up at Hamfest and stuff like that. So I think this is definitely, I'm excited to have a lot more friends, especially in the ham radio community. And hopefully for future YOTAs too, of either seeing these people again at that, and plus any new youth for YOTA. I'm definitely, I was pumped for it before, and still pumped for it. Yeah, met a lot of new friends, and Sam and Chris and Leah, and I mean everybody, Peter, everybody. It was just so much fun.
Absolutely. Well, Adam, your enthusiasm is it spreads like wildfire. We're all excited for you. So, I do have to say that, Neil. I think that you knew that this kind of stuff was going to happen, but I want to say the one thing that Don said is that and I'm going to try to point the right way, if these are the people that are going to take over ham radio, I think we're in fine hands. Wouldn't you agree, Neil?
Absolutely. That was one of our big goals of YOTA Camp, was to create a stronger community of young hams. And I told them, the first night, I remember when I was 5 years old and was a ham, and there was no one close to my age, and had no idea of even 13 and 14 and 15-year-olds that were out there. We wanted to make sure, and this is one of the reasons that I really bit this off, was we want to make sure that these kids know each other. We want to make sure that they know that they're not alone, that they are a part of our ham radio community, and that they can ask each other questions about their strengths, and learn from each other. And what you described, Adam, there was exactly what we were after. It's my phone is like it's it hasn't stopped, and I hope it doesn't, because we need a community of young hams. And one of the things one of the parents mentioned to me was just the icebreaker on Sunday night. But by the time we did the opening and we went through all the rules, and K3LR gave his keynote, and we did all of that stuff, we did a simple little icebreaker, and by the end of the icebreaker, they were already friends. Yeah. And they gelled together in less than 24 hours. And that's exactly what we were after. So that just made the rest of the week that much more fun.
Very good.
Yeah,
wow.
I just want to add one last thing here is I just wanted to, I think all of us wanted to thank especially all of our sponsors. I mean, we couldn't have done, I'm sure, any of this really without all our sponsors, and ICOM and Yasmin and everybody. I mean, it's just been awesome, and thankful for, first camp, really, just to kind of give it a shot, willing to go out on the edge and give us the opportunity. That was really awesome, and it was definitely worth it in my opinion. And on top of that, I want to thank Neil and all the chaperones too. I mean, I can't imagine how many, really, the hundreds of hours of headaches and time and everything, and it really meant a lot. And I really feel that, at least from what I've seen from myself and other campers that were there, it was totally worth it, and tons of smiles and laughs, and a lot of friends, especially in the amateur radio community now. And yeah, thank you again to chaperones, and I mean all sponsors, and even anybody that donated even a little bit. That every little bit helped, and it was totally worth it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw some of those pictures. I still don't think all the pictures loaded. Not a big deal.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
Tim, no, it's all right. I had Tim Duffy in there and Terry from DX Engineering, and then another presenter that I didn't recognize, so I wanted to give him recognition. But other than that, we covered everything in this camp. And stay tuned, because they're going to have more videos and everything. Follow on Facebook, follow some of these people, and you're going to see a whole lot more about this whole camp experience from a lot of the students that went there, as well as parents and others. So thanks, you guys. Thanks so much for being here this evening. I really appreciate it. Thanks for taking your time out to tell us how it went. And now I want to be like 15 again and go to camp. What about you, George?
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
I've heard that from so many people are saying, we got to do this for adults.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody wants to go. But,
yeah, thank you so much for having us on the show. I mean, and for me, I'm 20 years old. And to most places, it's not considered a youth anymore. So, I mean, to be able to go to a camp has been pretty awesome and still be considered a youth. So, I don't know. But no, thank you so much for having us on the show. It's been awesome.
Absolutely.
Hey, Adam, you've made friends for life at that camp. I want you to know that those people, not only other youth, but people like Neil and Julie and Chris's dad Jocelyn, everybody who's involved in that, they will for sure keep up with you, and you've got friends for life there. And I think that you talked about maybe getting together at a Hamfest. I think you guys should, the very next time that Hamvention rolls around in Dayton, I think you guys ought to make a concerted effort to have a contingent go in and just take that place over.
Yeah, I think that's definitely been the thing. Is definitely Dayton's been a big one. I know a lot of them are going to Huntsville, which I'm not sure if I'm going to make it or not, but a lot of them are going to Huntsville. But yeah, I think Dayton for sure. We're all trying to definitely get back together again, because like Neil said, in less than 24 hours, we were all like best friends of just let's have a blast, and this is friends for life right here. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, and I'm glad that you got to do that and have that experience, and those are memories that you'll take to your grave, my friend.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you,
thanks for having us. And check out youthontheair.org. We've got links to all of our social media and the YouTubes and all that stuff. But we have the daily highlight videos, and Brian, WB9QVR, one of my friends from college, edited all those videos. And James Lee, WX4 TV, and Sterling N0SSE shot all the video for us. But we're going to have one more highlight video coming up that will encompass the whole week. So he's still working on that one. But so we'll have one more highlight video, but you can get on there and see all the videos from each day, and the Eris contact and the opening and closing ceremony. So
nice.
And some of the balloon launch. So
yeah,
check it out.
I really enjoyed watching a lot of the videos, you guys, and I spent hours on this last night just going through it because I was just really enthralled. Like, just anyhow. All right, we got to move on. We have to. Neil, Adam.
Job well done, Neil.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you so much. Really, thank you very much.
All right.
Well, I apologize for the images. I'm going to blame OBS on this one because I've got them and I'm dumping them into OBS, and OBS is like, that's all I got.
I wonder if they're really large or something.
Well, yeah, but how many short shots do we do? You know, we've got plenty
30,
of Gordos. He goes like into the 50s in some cases.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I want Josh to talk about what Josh is going to talk about, but I have two things I have to talk about. Sure. Shenandoah Valley Amateur Radio Club's 70th annual Berryville Hamfest. Does that mean there's berries there? That's going to take place August 1st.
Can't forget.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up.
That's right.
Now I'm going to talk about the 500th talk. In 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We've got the 500th episode.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. So, with that, remember I talked 2 weeks ago about my RAID controller and my RAID 5 thing. It took a disaster. Anyhow, I wanted to have a certificate to present tonight. That's not going to happen, but we did want to talk about how we made an arrangement. It's not fair for everyone to have one night, 1 hour after the 500th episode to earn a 500th certificate for joining in on the after show net. So we all, as the Net Controls and Josh and I, decided that we're going to give you 2 episodes. So you get the 500th and the 501st.
Yes.
That way,
Nice.
just in case you miss it, you can join in. You can pre-plan for 2 weeks and take some time off or whatever you need to do. Get your radio set up, get an antenna, get a buddy over to help you set up your antenna, whatever the heck you have to do. Order a radio from DX Engineering. Get that ICOM you always wanted.
There you go.
You get an extra 2 weeks to get it done. So
Yes.
then you don't have any excuses and you get a 500th certificate. Sweet, right? So also the Green Bay, if you guys worked the KA6 LMS Last Man Standing special event at all, you know how easy it was for you to download the certificate. Guess what? That great group of guys and gals is going to help us do the same thing. So woo woo.
Nice.
Great.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit longer. You know, you might have a 30-day wait to be able to download it, but you're just going to be able to type in your call sign into your email. Boom, bada bing. Or as Dr. T would say, wham.
Wham.
It's
Exactly.
in your and I tweeted her that, by the way, when I watched her videos, like, girl, wham. That's all I have to say. So anyhow, I'm really looking forward to that, and I'd love to thank our Net Controls. I would name you all, but I can't. So don't laugh at me. It's been a long night.
It
I can't
has.
remember my own name. I'm not laughing at you. I'm the worst with names.
You know those people that ask you for your phone number, you're like, I don't know.
Remember it. I don't call myself.
I'll text
What do I
you.
know? Yeah, exactly.
Don't forget the giveaway too. I know I mentioned it at the top of the show,
Giveaway,
but
the
still,
giveaway.
ICOM
You
705, AH 705 tuner, and an LC 192 backpack. That's a huge giveaway.
man.
The link is in the
That's
description to get in on that. So if you have not already, do it.
I'm not going to tell you who's going to be holding that in their hands before it's sent out to our winner.
Someone.
yeah.
Someone.
You know,
So-
I may quit. I may quit the show just so I'll be eligible.
And then come back.
Maybe my evil twin Lon will win.
I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I retire from the show because I want to
That's
enter.
right. That's right.
That's a sweet giveaway, because I mean the 705 is great on his own, but then you throw the tuner and the backpack in. That's pretty
Yes.
sweet.
Yes.
So thanks ICOM for that. That's amazing.
Thank you so much, ICOM, and I can't wait for the winner to come out on that. That brings us to the 500th, where we're going to have some great guests, and I shouldn't say guests because this is Bob's show. He started this, he built it, and we're just here to try to make things the same way. But Bob's going to be with us, George Thomas from Amateur Logic. I think y'all remember him. Some Smoke and Solder. He's going to have a segment for us. So I'm really looking forward to the 500th. Possibly Dr. T. What do I have to do to butter that deal for her?
We're working on that. I'll remind her many times.
And Joshy, we're gonna skip the video, the field day video, because we're way out of time.
Yeah,
but I'm
I
gonna
think so.
let you give your sneak peek. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
my
stop.
sneak peek was to pad, because I think every time we think we don't have enough content, we're
okay,
like,
good.
oh my gosh, we have more than enough content. But I'll show you
right,
before we
let's see
wrap
it,
up.
let's
I
see
mean, we've already hinted at it. So here we go. Oh, there it is. So this is a radio that showed up on my door.
Wow.
So I'm gonna
Did you
turn
find
it
in
on.
your trunk like Ray Novak finds stuff in his trunk?
I found it in the shipping. That's how it works for me. But it's a well, I'll just show you how it works. Let me get over
nice.
here. It's going to be more interesting in a second, I think. Hold on. Where was I going? I'm going over here.
I see that says PrepCom. Must Google some stuff.
Yeah. So if you're watching this little light here, it's saying CWN. And it
Really?
should start doing its thing here in a second.
Ooh.
There we go.
Oh, look
You
at
see
that.
that? So let's see. Is it
It's reading.
Yeah, so
decoding the CW.
Of course, I'm doing this live.
Am I seeing a frequency of 7026? Is that correct?
70266. Yeah.
Okay.
So and you can see it says Tucson, QTH Tucson, AZ. So this is live CW decoding. I just picked a frequency where I saw people on it and just slid over to it. This is possibly one of the best CW decoders I've played around with. And what's really interesting is that input right there, that USB cable, is a keyboard. It takes key entry for doing Morse code, as well as a key, if you were so inclined. So if you're somebody that's starting out in Morse code and you want to kind of get into it by doing, which is kind of like often the best way to learn.
I have questions. I would like to know. Oh, are you keying right now, or is that your decoding?
It's decoding.
Decoding.
It's decoding, but do you get to see what you're typing to input?
Yes, it will do that as well. And in fact, it hasn't done it yet because we haven't seen a call sign, but it will actually, if it picks up a call sign, it'll put it in that no CCS area, and then you can just hit the ANS button, and it will respond with your call sign back to that person, and you can actually macro out stuff like you would on PSK 31 or whatever.
Oh, that's so cool.
Not a kit. It's not a kit. It's about $350 for the keyboard and the radio. So there will be a video.
Keyboard comes with it.
I mean, that's worth like $325, right?
Yeah, there you go.
It's great. You don't have to go scrounge up a keyboard. And it's a small keyboard.
It's a small little.
It is a miniature keyboard.
Right. So that was just a sneak peek. I'll have more on that. It's not.
I'm looking forward to it.
A lot of people are commenting. Is it a kit? A kit? Nope. Not a kit. It's got a 3D printed little case that goes on top of it for portable. And now I'm also told, I haven't figured this out yet, but I'm told you can connect it to a radio that has an outbound connection, and it will decode off of your radio. So if you have just a regular, base station, you can plug that into it, and you can let it do the decoding and actually send the keying back through the keying line.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I guess I should pull it up. Actually, right? I know what I'm doing. PrepCom.
That's a neat bit of kit.
Is there going to be haters out there like this is totally cheating, or are they going to be happy to see
Sure.
this?
I mean, yeah.
Hey, you know what? It's a tool, and if it gets you to use CW and help you to learn to do it with a key,
that's where I'm at.
It's a tool. Use it. It's just like the whole rigmarole on the 13 colonies, which, by the way, I mailed out all of my QSL card requests and the certificate request today, and that was a wad of postage with SASEs on everything.
I know.
The people that were complaining about people like me who were only able to work GB13 or whatever on D-Star, it's like, dude, it's a mode. It's allowed. It's encouraged. It's a tool. Use it and get off my back about it.
I sure as hell didn't get them logged because I didn't have that tool in my back pocket to try to log them. So.
I would say that for everybody, that wants to push forward the use of CW, which I agree, I think it's a fantastic mode. There probably might also be people who probably aren't into FT8. So this is kind of an interesting crossover of that, right? Like, if you want to encourage people to get to CW, this is a nice way to do it when you can't just have a direct Elmer or someone else that'll help you right along with it. So I think it's cool. So I'll be doing a little deep dive in it. Yeah, it's a quirky little device. And speaking of quirky, thank you, James Hannibal, Quirky QRP. I'll make sure I link him in the video when I do the review of it. But he's the one who sent it to me. So thanks, James. Appreciate it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice, James. You're cool.
Yeah, right on.
Great.
Well, we're long.
We're done.
We're done.
Long,
so.
We can both stick a fork in Dawn.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Well,
I'm just
thank
sitting
you.
here playing with my little CW, my little Sideswiper paddle kit that I bought at Dayton many years ago. I bought this. It's like $200, whatever it was. So I'm gonna spend money on a nice key and put it together. So it's gonna encourage me to get back and relearn CW. And you wouldn't believe the dust I had to push off that thing the other day. But it's hooked up to the front of my radio, and I play with it every now and then, so I'm working on that. And I know what you mean about FT8. I still haven't completely grasped the whole FT8, FT4 thing, but you know what? I've been playing with it and using it, and I used it to make, I think, 2 or 3 of my 13 colonies contacts. It's another mode. It's another tool in the toolkit. Use it.
That's
yeah,
right.
well, you're not anybody until they send you a WTF in your message. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you know you really made it on FT8.
yes. I want to. Don
Exactly.
has one more announcement. Don, tell us what you did last week.
I passed the real estate
Okay.
license test. So
Congratulations, honey.
Nicely
yeah,
done.
I'm just waiting on that to show up on the Louisiana Real Estate Commission website and for the license to be sent to my broker. And I went to a meeting today, and I'm looking forward to a new career at age 60, almost 61, which is scary as it can be. But there's unlimited income potential there. Certainly not in radio.
That's true. That's
So
true.
yeah. So wish me luck. Thank you very much.
Well,
for that. I
we're
appreciate
proud as hell for you, sweetie. So, congrats.
Good. Well, I'm going to bone up on real estate law. I think real estate, everything as it pertains to putting antennas up and amateur radio and things like that. And that's something that I really want to be able to hopefully try to help people who are maybe having to move and don't, and are trying to wade through the whole HOA and PRB1 and everything else. I'm going to try to immerse myself in that as much as possible and try to be a help to as many people as I possibly can.
Very good. All right.
No Discord after chat today. I apologize. I've got some work I got to do. So I apologize, everybody. No Discord after chat, but we will definitely be doing it for the 500th episode because we'll be talking about that.
Yeah,
so.
and the after shows or the after show nuts are going on right now, and I apologize, but they've been going on for a bit.
They announced in the chat. I did post them. I saw them post to the chat. So hope everybody's out there getting on the net. So apologize for no Discord, but yeah, thanks again for coming out to Ham Nation episode 499. It's 2 weeks. We'll see you again with a big show.
And if anybody wants to know who makes this key, it's AME. Just Google up AME CW keys or whatever.
American Morse
you'll
equipment.
Find it.
Good stuff.
I believe, yeah, American Morse equipment, and it came as a kit, which was really cool. I got to put it together, and it's all, it's ultra high quality stuff. So I can't remember exactly which key this is, but yeah, it's AME. It's a good one.
Sterling Man in the chat says Homes for Hams is available as a URL, Don. So just
you know what? I'm seriously thinking about. I was talking about this to my wife, thinking about starting a YouTube group for hams who enjoy cigars and pipes and things like that. They call it Smoked Hams. And she's like, you ought to do it. So
you should.
Don't nobody steal my idea. Because
you better get it.
Can I be your first guest? I'll smoke a cigar with you.
Oh, there you go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody, again.
Bye.
73. Take it easy.
Thanks, all our guests.